Hey guys, I'm going to be playing some 10-minute chess apparently against Harry Hasparov, who is Pablo Scheffer and a good friend of mine, president of the King's College London Chess Society, and my flatmate. So, let me just put that back there. And we've played a hell of a lot of games online recently, and I've won most of them, but Pablo's been doing pretty well. Let me just make sure this floats on top. There we go. Okay, now you should be able to see my face. Okay, let's talk through this. We've been playing this line in the Grunfeld where he plays f3 recently. However, I think he's deviated away from that because he didn't like how sharp positions were. So now he goes bishop g5. He's been playing these a lot recently, and I actually, because he has been playing this a lot recently, I looked up some stuff and some theory here. However, saying that, I now can't remember it. His actual rating is closer to about 1700. This is rapid rating. We don't usually play games this long, but we thought it'd be easier to commentate on this. So, anyway, I'm going to play bishop g7 and carry on as normal. And then he often plays bishop queen d2 here. He's also pushed d4 before, or knight f3 is the other logical move. I'm just going to castle. And really here it's about, okay, so he wants to trade off my dark square bishop because it's being catered here, so I've put a lot of time into making this dark square bishop good, and he's going to trade it off. And then my light square bishop will be less good with these pawns on light squares on h7, g6, and f7. So one way of disrupting this is to push c5 immediately, I think. Because now if bishop h6 I'm going to take, and he's going to take my bishop, king takes, and then if he takes with the queen, that will be check, threatening my knight, so I move my knight back to f6. And then I think if he plays rook d1, trying to win the file, that's a bit too much considering how undeveloped he is, so I can probably just trade queens, play knight f6, hit the rook with a tempo, rook drops back, and then bishop out somewhere, and I'll win the files before he does. So if he takes c5, then I'm going to take his knight, and either he trades queens first or he takes back the pawn, but his pawn structure is ruined and these pawns are going to drop. So I think this position is already quite nice to me. I think queen d2 is a bit slow in these positions. Previously, I've just gone straight into taking the knight, and that kind of helps him. So I've looked at this a bit online, on Stockfish. Yeah, our overall record is in my favour, but he's been pushing me quite close recently, so keen to reassert my dominance. And I have my cup of tea, which will help me. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly what I said. I'm going to take d4. Then it doesn't matter. Ooh, he takes there first. Yeah, so if I take the knight, then he's going to play queen d4, and that's bad for me. So I've got to take here. He's going to take with the queen, and I'm going to drop back, like I said. If he takes with a knight, then I'm going to take his knight, and I think my position is just quite good. Again, I'm more developed. Yes, I've lost this dark square bishop, but here, yeah, this is exactly the line I talk about. So either he trades queens immediately and concedes a file, or he plays rook d1, I trade, I play knight f6, his rook goes somewhere, then I take the file after bishop somewhere. Bishop, I suppose I will go to g4, and then if knight e5, I can drop back to e6. Okay, so he defends like that. Well, I'm just going to win the tempo. Simple chess. If I can develop a piece of tempo against his queen, all the better. If he trades queens, then I win the file, so I can pre-move that. And this position is not by any means necessarily even better, but certainly more comfortable for black now. I've sort of taken on the role of white here in that I'm slightly ahead in development. White's position looks more like black's. Hopefully this will be the first of many videos I'll upload, and I'll play some against some stronger opponents as well, and see how that goes. Although I'm not convinced about my ability to commentate whilst playing quick games, so I might be stuck with some longer ones for the meantime. Now, if he plays Queen, where else could he go? He could try Queen h4. Okay, yeah, he just takes, which is probably sensible, kind of accepting that his position is slightly worse. Because if he pushed Queen h4, trying to claim that his queen has actually gone on a useful journey, I think that just doesn't work. Because what he really wants to be able to do is push the h pawn with his queen over there, but the queen blocks it. If he ever plays knight g5, I play h6, and you know, he's just playing for silly little tricks. So here, the real question is, where is my bishop going to go? So with g4, after bishop e2, bishop g4, and castles. In fact, if he castles, the point there is that I can trade, and after bishop takes, I have rook in to d2, which is good for me. So he won't castle, he'll push h3 first, and then after trades, bishop takes, I can play knight e5, bishop takes b7, knight e5, bishop takes b7, rook a b8, bishop somewhere, and then rook takes, and position is completely crushing. So let's go for this. I don't see another move other than h3 or castles here. I suppose he could try and trade rooks down the file immediately, but that seems like a real acceptance that his position isn't good, and I don't think Pablo will go for that. Okay, yeah, so he goes for this line. So I'm going to play this, and after bishop takes, I'm going to go here. And the other point is if he doesn't take this pawn, then I have a really nasty check coming in. Or if he castles out the way of the check, I can invade with rook d2, and my position is going to be very nice. Okay, yeah, so he goes bishop back, which I didn't see, but I also don't think this is too much of a problem because I can probably just check here. And the point is that if he takes, which he sort of has to because I'm otherwise going to win the b2 pawn, then I'm going to very quickly be able to double on the d file, and that position looks incredibly nice for me because he's going to have to play, in order to connect the rooks, he's either going to have to castle, and I can play rook d2, or he's going to have to play king e2, and then I can also play rook d2, so let's go for that. Yeah, the opening went wrong for him somewhere. He's been trying this queen d2 stuff recently, but I don't think I've been punishing it effectively because I don't think it's actually very good. But this c5 immediately might prove the point. But now he can just trade, can't he? For some reason I was miscounting the moves here, so he actually plays king e2 before I play rook d8, which is very dim. Okay, well, because if I get loads of trades in, I'm sure I can trick him in this knight endgame. Maybe it'll be worth going for just because it's instructive. Maybe it's obviously completely a draw, but it might be instructive to see how I can try and win that. Now, of course, my other option is to play rook 3 to d6. And if he trades, I take with the rook d1, and then I play something like rook b6. And the point is that he can't play rook d7 because my knight covers that square. So he'll play maybe rook d2, looks good to me. Let's think about this for a moment. Okay, let's try that. Let's keep some pieces on the board. Takes, I'm going to take back with the rook. and then after rook d1, I'm going to play rook b6. Or maybe actually cleverer is to play rook c6, saying if you move your knight, I'm going to win that file. Yeah, I quite like that actually. Let's just calculate for a second. So if I play rook b6, rook d2, then I will play e6. Yeah, it's hard to make progress in that position. Cover my face. If rook c6 and I tie down his knight, and okay, then if he plays rook d8, then I'm going to come across, encourage him to create a weakness. b3, and claim that I've got a slight initiative, although really this is triple zeros, but we shall see if I can create something out of nothing here, which seems to happen in a lot of my games of Pablo. We play sort of reach these equal end games, and then Pablo sort of collapses a little bit, but I probably shouldn't say that now because it's going to come back to bite me and Pablo's going to outplay me, so he just disconnected. Was he disconnected? Oh, he's got a minute to rejoin. Okay, so let's do some calculation here. The other question, of course, is where... Ooh, where's he gone? Let me just message him to see if he's... asked him if his connection is all good. Okay. The question also is where he wants his pawns. I would say that he wants... Oh, there we go. Dodgy connection. I'm sure they will come back. Let's see. I don't know if I can stop him from auto-resigning. See if we can use data. So he probably wants his pawns on h4, g3. Yeah, h4, g3, and then... Oh, that's unfortunate. Obviously, I'd have offered him a draw if that was possible. Let's have a look at this, though.